Strange VHS closing number 3. Top Gun DVS VHS. Just check the closing. The closing on this tape is extremely rare. I'm so glad I ordered this tape. No week in Europe code or print date. So yeah, guys, you ready? Here it is. About to show you guys what's weird about it.
Assistant Chief Lighting Technician Dan Delgado. Lighting Technicians
Enjoy.
Michael W. Blymer, Jeffrey D. Stanman. Special Effects Peter Cairo, Roger G. Willard, Steve Foster. Assistants to Mr. Simpson, Scott Metcalf, Matthew Snyder, Billy Badalato. Assistants to Mr. Bruckheimer, Barbara Weintraub, David Robertson. Assistant to Mr. Scott, Catalin Nell. Stunt Coordinator R.A. Rondell. Production Auditor Julie Aronson. Assistant Auditor Ron Stack. Transportation Coordinator Randy Peters. Transportation Captains Dan Marrow, Alorazi. Construction Coordinator Stacy McIntosh. Set Designer Craig Dennis Edgar. Unit Publicist Marsha Robertson. Casting Associate Lisa Clarkson. Casting Assistant Jeff Greenberg. Record Company Consultants Michael Dilbeck, Ron Oberman. First Aid Ron Eisman. Caterer Guinea Up Catering. Color Timer Bruce Pearson. Negative Cutting MGM Negative Cutting. Titles and Opticals by Cinema Research Corporation. Title Design by Dan Curry. Original Motion Picture Soundtrack Album on Columbia Records and Cassettes. Lenses and Panaflex Camera by Panavision. Dolby Stereo in selected theaters. Color by Metro Color. Copyright 1986, Paramount Pictures Corporation. All rights reserved. Special thanks to the Secretary of the Navy, the Honorable John F. Lehman, Jr. The producers wish to gratefully acknowledge the cooperation and support of the U.S. Navy and the following individuals: Rear Admiral P.J. Cassidy, Rear Admiral J.A. Garrow, Admiral James L. Holloway III, U.S. Navy retired, Lieutenant John Henry Semken. Aerial Consultants Richard T. Stevens, Thomas R. Harmon. Aerial Unit First Assistant Director Sharon Mann. Technical Advisor Peter Viper Pettigrew. Navy Aerial Coordinator Lieutenant Commander Robert Rat Willard. F-14 Aerial Coordinator Lieutenant Commander Lloyd Bozo Abel. Air-to-Air Photography Clay Lacey. F-14 Camera Consultants John Gilbert, George Leahy. Astrovision Operator David Knoll. Steadicam Operator Joe Valentine. Aerial and Underwater Cameraman Jack Cooperman, ASC. Process Coordinator Don Hansard Sr. Process Engineer Don Hansard Jr. F-14 Consultants Grumman Aircraft Corporation. Navy Dialogue Consultant Jim Flex DeStefany. Government Relations John Horton. Aerial Camera Operators Nick Alvarado, Dan Koblash, Don Thompson, William Kelly, Lieutenant Commander C.J. Heater Heatley. George Howe, David Knoll, Larry Blanford, Gary Tolbert. Navy Public Affairs Commander Eric Willenbrock. Lieutenant Sandy Stairs, Lieutenant Randy Stiles. The producers wish to thank the officers and men of the Navy Fighters Weapons School, Top Gun, Naval Air Station Miramar, Naval Training Center San Diego, Naval Air Station Fallon, Nevada, Sea Air Rescue North Island, Coast Guard San Diego, USS Enterprise, USS Carl Vinson, USS Ranger. Special visual effects by USFX Colossal Pictures, USFX Crew, Director of Photography Rick Fichter, Production Manager Whitney Green. Production Coordinator Christine Whitney. Pyrotechnicians Peter Stolz, Tex Minke. Key Grip Peter Thomas. Grip Jan Heinecker. Assistant Grip James Campana. Model Department Supervisor David Sosala. Model Makers Earl Murphy, David Carruthers, Marge McMahon, Stephen Sanders, John Eves. Armature Designer Gary Platek. Assistant Model Makers Kel Ness, Alessandro Palladini, Mitchell Romanowski. Assistant Photography John Else, David Hallinger, Stephen Lighthill. Camera Assistant John Gazdick. Animation Supervisor William Groeschel. Animators Sam Comstock, Wel Takahashi, Stuart Cudlitz. Animation Cameraman Donald Smith. Assistant Editors Richard Childs, Stacy Foyles. Production Secretary Coordinator Sally Seiberg. Production Auditor Diana Austin. Assistant Auditor Gail Peabody. Assistant to Mr. Gutierrez Barbara Gerard. Suggested by Ehud Yone's article Top Guns in California Magazine. The producers wish to acknowledge the contributions of the following: Otari Tape Recorders, Soundcraft USA, JVC Company of America Professional Video Communications Division, Audio Kinetics Incorporated, Northrop Corporation. Danger Zone by Giorgio Moroder and Tom Whitlock, performed by Kenny Loggins, produced by Giorgio Moroder, Kenny Loggins, courtesy of CBS Records. Lead Me On by Giorgio Moroder and Tom Whitlock, performed by Tina Marie, produced by Giorgio Moroder, Tina Marie, courtesy of CBS Records. Hot Summer Nights by Michael J., Alan Roy Scott, and Roy Freeland, performed by Miami Sound Machine, produced by Emilio Estefan Jr. and Giorgio Moroder. Miami Sound Machine, courtesy of CBS Records. Heaven in Your Eyes by John Dexter, Paul Dean, Mike Reno, and Mae Moore, performed by Loverboy, produced by Paul Dean and John Dexter. Loverboy, courtesy of CBS Records. Top Gun Anthem by Harold Faltermeyer, performed by Harold Faltermeyer and Steve Stevens, produced by Harold Faltermeyer. Steve Stevens, courtesy of Warner Brothers Records, Incorporated. Mighty Wings by Harold Faltermeyer and Mark Spiro, performed by Cheap Trick, produced by Harold Faltermeyer, Cheap Trick, courtesy of CBS Records. Playing with the Boys by Kenny Loggins, Ina Wolf, and Peter Wolf, performed by Kenny Loggins, produced by Peter Wolf. Kenny Loggins, courtesy of CBS Records. Take My Breath Away by Giorgio Moroder and Tom Whitlock, performed by Berlin, produced by Giorgio Moroder. Berlin, courtesy of Geffen Records and Phonogram BV. Destination Unknown by Fran Gold, Jake Hooker, and Paul Fox, performed by Marietta Waters, produced by Harold Faltermeyer. Through the Fire by Giorgio Moroder and Tom Whitlock, performed by Larry Green, produced by Giorgio Moroder. Larry Green, courtesy of Camel MCA Records, Incorporated. Radar Radio by Giorgio Moroder and Tom Whitlock, performed by Giorgio Moroder, featuring Joe Pizzullo, produced by Giorgio Moroder. Great Balls of Fire by Jack Hammer and Otis Blackwell. Sittin' on the Dock of the Bay by Otis Redding and Steve Cropper, performed by Otis Redding, courtesy of Atlantic Recording Corporation by arrangement with Warner Special Products. You've Lost That Loving Feeling by Barry Mann, Cynthia Ryle, and Phil Spector, performed by the Righteous Brothers, courtesy of Polygram Special Projects, a division of Polygram Records Incorporated. The persons and events in this motion picture are fictitious. Any similarity to actual persons or events is unintentional. This motion picture is protected under laws of the United States and other countries. Unauthorized duplication or exhibition may result in civil liability and criminal prosecution. Number 28069, Motion Picture Association of America. This picture made under the jurisdiction of IATSE, affiliated with AFL-CIO. This film dedicated to the memory of Art Scholl. Fade to black.
And here's what's weird about this closing. Totally expecting a mowing sound or something, but watch out. You're not going to believe what comes after that. You guys are not going to believe this. Oh, wow. That's weird. That's rarer than my grease tape. So yeah, there's the closing. Pretty weird. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. See you guys in my next video.